The little rabbit just dug a hole, but accidentally fell into the neighbor's bathtub. Frightened, he covered his eyes and ran away as fast as he could. In a panic, he rushed into someone else's sauna room. Then he dashed into the changing room. Right then, he bumped into Mr. Lizard, who was showing off his figure. The little rabbit blushed instantly and fled through the door. Finally, after avoiding everyone, he arrived at a door. Just as he was about to knock, a terrifying roar came from inside. Once again, he was scared out of his wits and ran away. All this chaos actually stemmed from the little rabbit unfolding a blueprint he had drawn himself. He was so excited he could hardly contain himself. At last, he could have a little home of his own. But just as he was about to start digging, a mole suddenly popped out of the ground. The mole was very friendly and immediately shook the little rabbit's hand. He even showed him his own design plans. The blueprints were exquisitely detailed. The two mole brothers were almost finished. They would soon be moving into a spacious 2-bedroom home. The little rabbit looked down at his own blueprint again. The more he looked, the more his little home seemed too simple. Just then, there was a noise from the other side of the wall. A little mouse poked its head out. It greeted the little rabbit warmly, and then went on about its lively family life. The little rabbit suddenly panicked and hurriedly covered his blueprint, afraid anyone would see his ideas. The mouse kindly pulled out a pen, wanting to help improve the plans. The little rabbit took a few steps back, pretending to check his watch. "Oh no, it's getting late," he said, hastily packing up. He dug deeper and deeper underground. Only the mole and mouse were left standing there, stunned and puzzled. The little rabbit just wanted to get away as fast as possible. He dodged and slipped through the way. After narrowly avoiding all the animals, he kept digging ever deeper. He didn't know how long he'd been at it, but the shovel finally snapped in his hands. Looking at the little home on the blueprint, fear filled her heart. She decided to settle here after all. He put down the tools and swung the shovel hard. Suddenly the wall cracked open. Immediately a torrent of water gushed out. The little rabbit froze for a moment. Before he could react, the underground river burst forth violently. The light went out and the blueprint got soaked. He tried to block the water with his hands, but it was no use. His body couldn't hold it back either. The current grew stronger and the ground started to shake. Even the animals above ground felt it. Summoning all his strength, he climbed up. He knocked on the nearest door. The door opened to reveal a badger in pajamas. Though scared, the little rabbit had no other hope. This was his only chance. Between sobs, he explained what had happened, how he'd broken through the underground river. Finally, overwhelmed with guilt, he threw the blueprint away. Covering his face with his ears, he sobbed quietly. The badger said nothing. He simply picked up the blueprint and gently returned it to him. Then he suddenly opened his mouth wide and let out a deafening roar. The sound knocked the rabbits over and echoed all around. Before long, all the little animals came running. The little rabbit looked like a child who had done something wrong, instinctively hiding behind the badger. But the badger pushed him out, forcing him to explain everything himself. Unexpectedly, after hearing him out, no one was angry. Instead, they all pitched in to divert the underground water. By the way, how much battery does your phone have now? If it's the same as mine, let's be friends. The underground water was finally channeled into a clear spring. The animals cheered in celebration. Only the little rabbit looked at the blueprints, quietly upset. The mole and the mouse noticed something was wrong. The little rabbit finally gathered his courage, took out the blueprints and told everyone that he wanted to build a new home. Everyone happily agreed to help. Soon, the little rabbit's new home was nearly finished, and he became a part of the community. From then on, the little rabbit wasn't shy anymore. He visited his neighbors every day, living happily in the cave community ever after.